Hello beer tubers and welcome to another beer review with me, Peter, the master of puppets, cracking some fairly awesome beer, I'm hoping, from Tommie Sjef. Usually from Tommie Sjef, the beers are great. This was a member-only bottle, and my girlfriend has been bugging me to crack it. Well, not bugging me, but she's been asking to be the one I share this with because she thought it sounded interesting. So I am. And also part of her family, whoever wants to try some wild ale. I think it splits the water, but we love wild ales. So what we're trying today is Tommie Sjef's Jaune. And this was part of a member bottle for the Lily membership, which is a few years ago, 2021 season. And this is a 7.1% wild ale aged in for 3.5 years in barrels, unblended, and then finished in a Vin Jaune barrel. So a 3.5-year-old wild ale that was finished in a Vin Jaune barrel. It was in the Vin Jaune barrel for half a year, and then it was bottled. And it's only been available for the members. But I think some web shops have sold some of the member bottles so you could get to try them. I can't remember. It's been kind of secondary shops. But yeah, so he has some notes himself. He says the Vin Jaune gives deep characteristics of cellar, caramel, pecan notes, dusty, old, mature flavors, oxidized notes, almost like a sweet feel. And he thinks with age, the base will integrate a bit more so that it's not as much popping Vin Jaune barrel, but more of a funky wild base beer. So this will be interesting. I haven't had much Vin Jaune. I've actually only tried one. And that was kind of a more commercial example. That was a bit just white port almost. But I've heard really good Vin Jaune is insane. So hopefully one day I'll get to try some. But today we're trying beer aged in a Vin Jaune barrel. And I think that one of my biggest wild beer / spontaneous / lambic whales is La Vieille Belge from Cantillon, or it's got another name as well, but that is Cantillon Lambic in Vin Jaune barrels, which is supposedly really magic. But I'm sure I'll get to try that one day. But for now, let's crack into Jaune, 7.1%. And this has been in the bottle since 2021, so that's about 3 years in the bottle. So yeah, 3 years and a few months. So this should have developed some character of age by now. So pours a very oxidized kind of orange looking color, and you can definitely see changes to the picture that they have on the website. This has got a slight more mahogany-esque brown hue, just lightly. You can see it a little bit, or it maybe looks more like rust orange on camera, which I think is a very good indicator actually, because of the light bleeding through there, because I'm sitting with a little bit of shade. Maybe it's a similar color. It just have kind of more of a red hue to it here in the glass. I can smell it from here, so let's check out the aroma on Jaune. Oh wow, that smells really good. It's almost fatty smelling, buttery, fatty umami. Almost like when you get Chardonnays that has that slight fatty buttery thing. That's like butterscotch. It's a bit of that, which pairs really well with lots of mature oxidized fruits like dates, ficky, pruny notes. Very unique, very oxidized aroma. And very balanced funkiness to it, but a good amount of musty old cellar aromatics. That smells really good. Earthiness too, maybe? And a bit of topsoil, or not topsoil, petrichor, when it's rained. In just that smell of wet, I don't know if I want to say forest, but the smell of earthy wetness. I think you call that petrichor in at least in wine lingo. Yeah, and I think it's some oxidized pruny, also apricot-y notes, and there's also a touch of honey. There's lots of layers to this. Maybe even leather. It smells really good and really complex. Let's try it. Cheers. Ooh. Wow. That is really leathery. It's almost like sherry, port wine, and wild ale had a baby. So much umami. I'm really getting salinity on the tip of my lips. Oh, this is really good. Higher acidity than I expected. It's not like massive, but there's really that creamy, buttery toffee type, butterscotch toffee type note also persists. It's very unique in its flavor profile. It's not just classic wild flavors of fruit and funkiness. The Vin Jaune barrels really provide something really unique. I'm just wondering if it would have been better if it was blended beer that was finished in the barrel. Or you should blend beer that was aged in Vin Jaune barrels. I'm not sure, for different amounts of times. I'm not sure if this is the first time he uses Vin Jaune barrels. I think it's a really good result. I'm not, like, I'm really thinking that, like, should this be drunk sooner? I don't think this is something you need to age for that much longer because it's got a lot of oxidative characteristics already that still feels fresh. So, and I think that's from the barrel. And I imagine if you sit on this longer, those kind of flavors could become quite deep and, like, maybe for some a bit much. It's surprisingly acidic, actually. It's not like too sour, but I thought it'd be as balanced as some of the really good ones like Ude and the previous big Magnum that was also like was 5-year-old wild ale or something like that. I had like heavy high hopes for this, and I think either it needs more maturation or just like work on the process or something making this, because I think the acidity might be a touch too high. There's so much umami on this as well, almost like mushroomy or something. It's quite layered and quite complex with some very unique tasting notes. Quite a different beer, quite a different wild ale with the barrels. Heavily oxidative. You have to like heavily oxidized flavors, but it's really fucking great. Like the only thing that's like, I think the acidity is okay, but it's also like there's a little bit of a vinegar note just lightly. And I'm not sure if I had this bottle standing for too long time, a little bit hot. That's what scares me a little bit. If that's it. Because it's been, well, it's not been that hot. It's because, yeah, so maybe because it's also been standing in my apartment, in my closet. So it's experienced summers. I mean, beers like this are best to age at a constant temperature, cool, in a cellar. Like wine. But it's really good still. I'm thinking like a 93, 94. I have a hard time going 95. I was thinking this might be a 95, but it's just like, it's not 100% there for me to be all like, "Whoa, this is insane." Although it's really nice. Like, it's very similar to when you get sherry barrel-aged wild beer, kind of like something like along the lines of a, what are they called? Drie Fonteinen Senne Fontea. Drie Fonteinen Senne Ifotea. That has lots of these cherry oxidative notes, but it's more well constructed, I think. More complexity, more layers. This is also not blended kind of like a goose. I can't remember how they exactly do the Senne. But this is just a little bit, like, it doesn't offer the same structures of like a Senne, for example. A really good Senne and all the layers. It's really fucking great though. And I'm sure if Tommie gets to play around a bit more with the Vin Jaune barrels, he'll nail it better. But I'm still, yeah, 93, 94. I mean, it's still really great. It sounds like I'm shitting on it a bit, but it's truly awesome. I was just hoping this would be a 95, but it's not exactly a 95 for me. But still, something you should try if you want to experience Vin Jaune barrel-aged wild beer. Otherwise, there's not too many around. I know Insight Cellars in Denmark just did one. Besides that, I don't know of many more besides Cantillon's. So, but there are some unique barrels and hard to come by, I hear. So, that's one of the reasons why there's not too many around. But yeah, really good stuff. Really, really, really nice. My only bottle, so I will not experience how this will develop further with time because you were only allowed one as a member. But I'm happy that I got one. So, if you guys had a chance to try Jaune from Tommie Sjef, let me know what you thought of it. Very, very nice Vin Jaune barrel-aged wild ale. So if you had it, let me know. As always, remember to comment, subscribe, check out the Facebook fan page and Twitter and Instagram. Give the video a thumbs up and join it, and ring the bell for future notifications about videos. And I almost like cheers and some delicious aged beer. And see you guys in another beer review.